Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for joining today. Wanted to seek the good wishes and blessings of the Supreme Lord, Shri Radha Krishna, Krishna Balaram, Gaurnitai, Srila Prabhupada, and also the assembled devotees, so that we can continue with Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, 69th chapter. So before we have a look at the 69th chapter, we just wanted to quickly revise these 5 types of liberation, which we were talking about a couple of days ago. And these are attained when one is generally fixed in Dasyaras, or even if one is fixed in opposition to the Lord, as we shall see when we come to Shishupal in his pastimes. So that can be attained in Vaikuntha. These 5 types of liberation. Salokya, which is residing with Narayan in his planet. Samipya, which is to be an associate of the Supreme Lord Narayan. Sarupya, having a 4-handed form exactly like that of the Supreme Lord, which is what Jay and Vijay had. They had a form which had exactly the same as Supreme Lord, but doesn't mean they are the Supreme Lord, just that the form is the same as Supreme Lord. Shashti, attaining opulences like that of the Supreme Lord. And this is the one that we don't really consider as liberation as such. So Yujian Yaya, which is merging with the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so this was text 40 of chapter 69.
Brahmantanasya vaktaham katatat anumoditaha takchikshayan lokam imam astitaha putramakidaha. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Brahman, I am the speaker of religion, its performer and sanctioner. I observe religious principles to teach them to the world. My child, so do not be disturbed.
So this is when Narad Muni visits Dwaka. So this is the name of the chapter as well. Narad Muni visits Lord Krishna's palaces in Dwaka. He relates how Narad Muni was amazed to see the household pastimes of Lord Krishna and how he offered prayers to the Lord. So after killing the demon Narakasur, Lord Krishna had simultaneously married 16,000 maidens, and Narad Muni wanted to observe the Lord's diverse activities in his unique family situation. So he went to Dwaka, and what did he find in Dwaka? The city was filled with the sounds of birds and bees flying around the parks and pleasure gardens, while its lakes were crowded with resounding with the calls of swans and cranes. Dwaka boasted 900,000 royal palaces. So 900,000, that's sure. Constructed with crystal and silver and splendorously decorated with huge emeralds. Inside these palaces, the furnishings were decked with gold and jewels. Traffic moved along a well laid out system of roads and intersections. Many assembly houses and temples of demigods graced the charming city. The roads, courtyards, streets, and patios were all sprinkled with water and shaded from the sun's heat by banners waving from flagpoles. So this gives a little idea of the opulence of Dwaka. In the city of Dwaka was a beautiful private quarter worshipped by the planetary rulers, demigods. This district where the demigod Vishwakarma had shown all his divine skill was the residential area of Lord Hari, and thus it was gorgeously decorated by 16,000 palaces of Krishna's queens. Narad Muni entered one of these immense palaces. So we've got a bit of a description of what the palace is like. Supporting the palace were coral pillars decoratively inlaid with Vaidurya gems. Sapphires decked the walls and the floors glowed with perpetual brilliance. In that palace, Twatsta had arranged canopies with hanging strands of pearls. There were also seats and beds fashioned of ivory and precious gems. In attendance were many maidservants bearing lockets on their necks, and also armor-clad guards with turbans, fine uniforms, and jeweled earrings. The glow of numerous jewel-studded lamps dispelled all darkness in the palace. And on the ornate ridges of the roof danced loudly, crying peacocks. So in that palace, Narad Muni saw the Lord of Sattvatas, Sri Krishna, together with goddess Rukmini, who fanned him with a gold-handled yakteo fan. She personally served him in this way, even though she was constantly attended by 1,000 maidservants, equal to her in personal character, beauty, youth, and fine dress. There's Narad Muni there, one of those palaces. Krishna is associating with his family, queens. As soon as Lord Krishna noticed Narad, he got up from his bed, offered obeisances to the sage, and seated him on his own seat. Then the Lord bathed Narad's feet, sprinkled the water on his own head. Such was the exemplary behavior of the Lord. Even though the water that bathes the Lord's own feet becomes the Ganga. So we can see the irony of this, right? From the Lord's feet comes the water that bathes the whole world. And he bathed the lotus feet of Narad Muni and took that same water and put it on his head. Extraordinary. Although Lord Krishna is supreme spiritual authority of the universe and the master of his devotees, it was proper for him to behave in this way. For his name in the Brahmanya is Brahmanya Dev. Namo Brahmaya Devaya Go Brahmanayataya Jagaditaya Krishna Govinda Namo. Lord who favors the Brahmins. So this is a very unique situation. Narad Muni is being worshipped by Sri Krishna. It's a conversation between Narad and Krishna. After fully worshipping the great sage of the demigods, according to the Vedic injunctions, Lord Krishna, who himself is the original sage, Narayan, the friend of Narayan, they conversed. He conversed with Narad Muni. And the Lord's measured speech was as sweet as nectar. Finally, the Lord asked Narad, "What may we do for you, our Lord and Master?" And Sri Narad Muni said, "Oh, mighty Lord, it is no surprise that you, the ruler of all the worlds, show friendship for all people and yet subdue the envious. As we well know, you descend by your own sweet will in order to bestow the highest good on this universe by maintaining and protecting it. Thus your glories are widely sung. Now have you seen your lotus feet, which grant liberation to your devotees, which even Lord Brahma can only meditate upon within their hearts. Please favor me so that I may constantly think of you as I travel around. Please grant me the power to remember you." Yes, Riyansh. Oh, sorry, Nanivan. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, I could not hear the chatter's name, so can you tell the chatter's name again?
Narad Muni visiting Lord Krishna's palace is in Dwarka.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes, Nanivan.
Yes, there was something, I didn't understand the last sentence, that which even Lord Brahma can only meditate upon within their hearts.
So his lotus feet are very difficult to attain. That's basically what he's saying.
Okay.
Very, very difficult to attain. So, you know, like when, I mean, we can really only ever imagine to attain the lotus feet of the Lord within our heart. We just pray within our heart. To actually, touch them is very difficult. But here, the situation was such that Narad Muni his lotus feet were being touched by Krishna. It's really ironic, really unique situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. And this is a really nice prayer. Please favor me so I can constantly think of you as I travel about. So whatever we go through in our life, it's meant to be. But if we can remember the Lord through the trials and tribulations, through the good times, then that is our success. And this is a very, very sweet prayer. Even Narad Muni, traveling all over the universe, chanting Narayan, Narayan, he's still praying for this. So this is very important prayer. And at least once every day we should pray, please, my dear Lord, let me constantly remember you. At least once a day. At least once a day.
What a great honor of Narad Muni. Have his feet washed by the Narayan himself, Krishna.
It's
Amazing.
bewildering, and it bewildered Narad, and that's why that verse we spoke.
Yes.
Krishna says to him, "Don't be bewildered. I'm just doing my duty."
Wow.
Yeah, it's. But at the end of the day, yeah. Of course, devotee would not want to be worshipped or to be served by the Lord like this, because the devotee wants to serve the Lord and not take any service for himself, like the gopis and the residents of Braj. They would not. They would just want to serve and please the Supreme Lord.
Yeah.
But Narad Muni had no choice, and that's why it was a little bewildering for him. Why is this happening? Why is the Lord touching my feet? Understandable.
Haribol,
Yes.
just wondered, Narad Muni letting Krishna touch his feet. That I just can't comprehend.
He had no choice.
Okay.
He had no choice. After conversing with the Lord for a short while, Narad went to other palaces, and was amazed to witness the Lord performing different pastimes as follows. So these are all the different places now, right? He saw the Lord playing dice with his beloved consort and Uddhav. At another palace, Naradji saw he was engaged as an affectionate father. From there, he entered another palace and saw he was preparing to take a bath. In another palace, the Lord was offering oblations into the sacrificial fires. In another, he was worshipping through the 5 Mahayagnas. In another, he was feeding Brahmins. Yet another, he was eating the remnants of food left by Brahmins. Somewhere he was observing the rituals for worship at sunset, quietly chanting Gayatri Mantra. Elsewhere, he was moving about with his sword and shield, doing practice. In another palace, Lord Graja was riding on horses, elephants, chariots. In another, he was resting on his bed while devotees were reciting his glories. Somewhere else, he was consulting with royal ministers like Uddhav. And elsewhere, he was enjoying in the water surrounded by many society girls. Other places, he was giving well-decorated cows to exalted Brahmins. Elsewhere, he was listening to the auspicious narrations of epic histories and Puranas. Elsewhere, he was found engaged, along with his wife, in ritualistic functions. Somewhere else, Lord Krishna was found enjoying the company of a particular wife. Somewhere else, Krishna was engaged in matters of economic development. And somewhere else, he was enjoying family life according to the regulatory principles. Elsewhere, he was rendering menial service to the elders. Another place, he was planning battles in consultation with some of his advisors. Another place, he was making peace with Balaram. In another place, he was pondering the welfare of the pious. Somewhere else, he was worshipping all the demigods with elaborate sacrifices. Elsewhere, he was fulfilling his religious obligations by doing public welfare work. And in another place, he was arranging for the marriages of his sons and daughters. Somewhere else, he was going out hunting animals. Elsewhere, he was moving about in disguise to find out what the citizens were thinking. So this was extraordinary for Narad Muni. Having seen all this, Narad Muni mildly laughed and addressed Lord Krishna, who was adopting the behavior of a human being. Only because I have served your lotus feet can I understand these varieties of your Yogamaya potency, which ordinary living beings bewildered by illusion cannot begin to perceive. Thus I am most fortunate, and I simply desire to travel all over the three worlds, chanting the glories of your pastimes which purify all the worlds. Shri Krishna asked Narada not to be confused by his vision of the Lord's transcendental opulences, and he described to him the purpose of his appearances in this world, i.e., to rid the world of irreligion and to re-establish religion. He then honored the sage properly according to religious principles, and then Narada departed, continuously meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, this is Shri Krishna. It's another pastime. So that's this chapter 69. Incredible chapter. Any questions, any comments?
Yes, incredible, so much opulence of Krishna, surprising about him washing the feet of Narad Muni. One thing, he had 16,108 wives.
Yes.
And here it's mentioned 16,000, maybe just the error.
Yeah. I think they just rounded it down.
Rounded it down, yeah.
But
amazing, amazing chapter, yeah. What was Dwarka in those days? It's just hard to imagine. Or
extraordinary.
Because
it's nine
nothing
lakh.
is remaining, isn't it? Nothing of that remains because it's all drowned.
Yeah, underwater.
Underwater, not drowned, underwater, yes.
Yeah. They've seen, I think they've seen a lot of structures underwater, haven't they? So, yeah, no, it's extraordinary. And Dwarka had 9 lakh palaces. So,
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, so extraordinary place, extraordinary opulence of the Supreme Lord. And it's not surprising to get bewildered by all this. How is it even possible? But of course, we look at it from material vision, and the Lord is completely spiritual. So. All right. Anything else, anyone?
No, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Otherwise, let's Madhusudan Prabhu, you'd like to give us instructions?
Hare Paul, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Quite interesting in this. And what surprised me was Krishna was out hunting as well. In one of the cases when Narad Muni sees it. It's very human-like behavior, but Dwarka with those 9,000 odd palaces, I'm sure it extends kind of in a spiritual realm as such. So for us to kind of think of the material sense, how that would fit on the planet Earth, and how it was under the ocean or somewhere. It's just unimaginable, actually. But what Narad Muni sees, it just gives us. It's 69. Then we are given a glimpse of the Lord's unlimited mystic potencies when Narad Muni observed Krishna simultaneously behaving differently in every palace. He also sets a perfect example by receiving Narad Muni and worshipping him as well. So Lord Krishna is Rishi Purana, means the original and the supreme spiritual master. So as a spiritual master, then he has to set an example, he has to teach. That's why he is, as a spiritual master in the Bhagavad Gita, to Arjuna, teaching and getting him out of illusion completely. So he's the original supreme spiritual master. Nevertheless, following the Vedic injunctions, vidino ditena, that a Kshatriya should worship a Brahmins, Lord Krishna happily worshipped his pure devotees, Narad Muni. So Narad Muni, being a pure devotee, he falls into the category of a Brahmin as well. And Krishna worships the Brahmins, he looks after the Brahmin, Go Brahmane Taicha Jagdita Krishna Govindaya Namo Namah. So his cows, Brahminical culture, Sanatana Dharma is his manifestation, Varnashram system and all that. So Lord Krishna is, I read that. So Narad Muni himself said that now we understand your mystic potencies, which are difficult to comprehend, even for great mystics, or Supreme Soul, master of all mystic power. This is a similar thing what Arjuna says in the end of Bhagavad Gita as well. You're the master of all, you're the mystic yogi, and the Narad Muni sort of says similar sort of thing here as well. Only by serving your feet have I been able to perceive your powers. So we may not be able to perceive Krishna's powers, but through Narad Muni we start to understand how. Is it all right?
Did we lose you?
Or, so when did you lose me?
Just about 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. I might have pressed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that, that's how we understand the mystic power through Narad Muni, so we, as human beings, we can't comprehend these things, but through Arjuna, through Narad Muni, through his pure devotees, we get to understand Krishna's potencies and how merciful he is as well. Okay. Yeah. Haribo.
Thank you. Very good. Any more questions? Any comments? Okay. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki